Hey kids, sit up and pay attention. It's time for Retrorific.
Hello there, strange folk from the interwebs.
Hello everybody.
Cool. So last week we had your top 5. Now it's time for my top 5. There was much deliberation, but I had to actually call in professional midget voters.
What?
Professional midget voters.
What?
Professional midget voters.
Fair enough.
You get them to follow you around and every decision you make, you ask midgets to vote.
Okay.
They're right in the corner.
Carry on. Let's ignore the little people in the corner.
Okay, we shall ignore the little people in the corner. Right, so this is my top 5. It's very difficult to choose 5 favourite films. I didn't realise how difficult it would be. I'm going to start with A Brief Encounter,
Which I have not seen. Yay!
We're going to start off with the films the other one hasn't seen, so they're inclined to disagree. A Brief Encounter is one of those very strange films, which, if it came out tomorrow, everyone would go, "What the fuck was that?" Because of its age, it's kind of warmed. I think it's one of those films that if you know you've grown up with, you've seen it, like very famous scenes, pretty much any train station in black and white, I think, evokes memory of the film. The way that it portrays characters is interesting as well. Everyone is very upper class, stiff upper lip British.
Even the Cockneys.
Even the Cockneys, especially the fucking Cockneys. Women know their place. It's that kind of film.
Oh, ouch!
It's kind of disturbing actually, because a woman in modern, when I say know their place, just so I don't get the haters, it's like know their place. Inverted commas are there. I promise, seriously. But yeah, it's very much, the woman feels all this dramatic emotion, which is very, oh my god, which no one really feels. I think it's a very solid and beautiful film, and I recommend, if you haven't seen it, then it's one of the classics. You should definitely see it.
It looks
Second, so number 4 would be Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yay!
Such a fun film. The characters are just all lively. It's got a cheesy 80s soundtrack.
It's the ultimate feel-good film, isn't it?
Exactly.
And what's that line? Life moves pretty fast. If you don't take a moment to stop and look around, you might miss it.
Yeah.
It's just such a great life philosophy. You know, that whole film has such a good view on life.
Definitely. I mean, it's just a nice, chilled out film that you can watch with some mates and have some beers.
Yeah.
It pretty much invented the MTV movie as well, which I'm not sure whether it's something positive. But certainly it shows.
Are you saying that film is responsible for Johnny Knoxville?
Possibly.
Ooh.
Very possibly. But to be honest, if more films followed the same kind of like happy-go-lucky attitude that film does, then I don't think the world would be as dreary a place as it is. Third, Shaun of the Dead.
Yay.
The main reason I chose this in my top 5 is not because I think it's one of the 5 of my favourite films, even though it is one of my favourite films. It's Simon fucking Pegg. I grew up with Spaced. I thought when watching Spaced, that's how I'm going to end up. And Shaun of the Dead showed me exactly how me and my friends will react in case of a zombie apocalypse. It's genuinely moving as well. That's the thing that always surprised me. With the mum thing. And
it's really good. It's got so much going.
Yeah.
And the humour in it is so good. If you just look at the script, there's so much sort of repetition of themes.
Yeah.
Like the second one. You know, just little moments like that keep recurring throughout the script. And it's so.
And let's face it, if a mate's got a red pen and it's leaking, you still say you've got a bit of red on you, and you still kind of hope that zombies come up at some point, and so you can say it like that. I do, but anyway, I don't know about other people. Number 2, Serenity. For me, I
Represent.
I think Serenity is a really difficult one, because I genuinely do think if I hadn't have watched Firefly first, similar to Shaun of the Dead in that respect. If I hadn't watched Firefly first, this wouldn't be anywhere near the list. It's only because the emotional bond that you've got with the characters, and that's a big flaw with the film. That is the big problem, is the fact that there's pre-established, that you can tell that these characters have already been established. If you can't tell, then you probably just think they're undeveloped, which is a real shame. It really didn't open itself to audiences up in the way it could have done.
But for me, again, I saw Serenity before I saw Firefly, and I enjoyed both of them immensely. So.
But I think you get a lot more from Serenity, and it becomes a lot more important to you if you've seen Firefly first.
True.
Plus the fact that, as far as I'm concerned, that is the single best space battle I've ever seen on the big screen. I saw it like about the same time after I saw Revenge of the Sith. And while Revenge of the Sith looked more visually impressive, I wasn't as connected to the characters, and there wasn't just as much bug nuts fucking crazy shit going on. Like the grappling, I always remember just when Reaver ship grapple was like this other ship, they just spin around for a bit and then they just crash. It's just like, this is all done in a second, just in passing.
Also, I love the fact that it's, aside from 2001, it's the only science fiction film I can think of that respects the no sound in space rule.
Yeah.
There is no sound in space.
That's becoming more common now because of the success of Firefly Battlestar Galactica. But it's definitely something that
Star Trek did it a little bit, but there still was sound in space.
Yeah.
They just cut the sound out every now and then to give you that feeling.
But every time big explosion happened, they added it.
But Serenity is just when they're going through Reaver space, there's just no sound in that scene. It's all
that
music.
scene is so chilling. But I think also it's got one of my personal favourite science fiction bad guys. The Operative is amazing for purely one reason. He knows what he does isn't right, and he's making this utopia, which he's fully aware that he has no place in. And it's that kind of like, I think that's just brilliant, and I love the way, this is something I want to communicate with everyone. Let's face it, Book was blatantly an operative. Blatantly. Yeah. Look at the pattern. No, I'm sorry, okay, think about it. How else would Book know about an operative? I just think it's a genius idea. That's the way I see the Book story goes. He does that for what? It's a perfectly valid film.
I have nothing to say on this matter. You're the Firefly fan here, not me.
I think Book was an operative beforehand. When when Book says he's not, he's their man. All that kind of stuff. You've got to have faith. Faith for faith. You gotta have faith for faith for faith.
Right.
Okay.
Back in there.
And that's Serenity.
Okay.
But yeah, heartily recommend it. My first greatest film ever. Some of you are gonna go, what the fuck, on this one. It is Big Trouble in Little China.
What the fuck?
See, he's not seen it, so he can't say anything.
Shh, don't tell him that! I've seen the trailer, I tried to watch it, but I couldn't find a good copy of it in time. I'm sorry, I let you down. Things like that.
Big Trouble in Little China is the oddest, randomest, borderline awful, but somehow teeters on that awful and just swings over and falls into greatness. I have no idea how it does it. There's so many genius one-liners, there's so many just cheesy situations and slogans and just random happenings.
What a crazy
It's
random
genius.
happenstance.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't think of the word happenstance. But yeah, I just find it. It's one of Kurt Russell's best movies. It's one of John Carpenter's best movies. And that's controversial. I know that.
I need to watch more John Carpenter.
Everyone needs to watch more John Carpenter. Him and his little synthesizer music. But I think it's just a fantastic film, which just makes you laugh, makes you go what the fuck, and makes you go that was fucking awesome. Plus, Lopan would own anyone, absolutely anyone.
Even Pai Mei?
Even Pai Mei. Even Sauron. Even the fucking Emperor. They actually fucking raped the Emperor.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, we'll have to watch this film now.
Who else would he own? Chuck Norris.
Oh,
Lopan.
No.
Lopan could take on a tag team of Chuck Norris and Boba Fett.
That is controversial there, James.
And I reckon he could even give Mr. T a good kicking. That's how hardcore he is.
Wow.
If you haven't seen it, I realise it's a really weird choice. but go and check it out. It's a really good film. There's loads of other films that I could mention, but I'm not going to because we've run out of time.
So yeah, next time on Retrorific.
Will it be awesome? Will it be awful? Will it be a little from column A, a little from column B?
Avatar.
See you guys in the aftermath.
Bye
Peace.
everyone.
But not
Tell your
literally.
friends. Avatar on the 17th. It will be uploaded. Watch it.
Or else.
Bye bye.
Take care.